Staying for another hour? I don't think so. Let me see. What time do I have work tomorrow? If I have work at 9 tomorrow, I'm good. If I have work at 8, I'm not that good. I should probably leave if it's 8. Let me see. Tomorrow's Saturday the 9th. So yeah, I gotta be in at 8. So probably gonna call it. I'll chill for like 5 minutes here. Like I said, just to get the blood pressure down. Let me see. I'm joking, but is my blood pressure actually high? I have really, really low blood pressure. Yep, after all that, it's 68. And my average blood pressure today was 54. And I went for a walk, and it peaked at 104. So not bad. On average, my blood pressure is pretty low. Well, my heart rate is low. I shouldn't say my blood pressure. Good heart rate stats. Yeah, I mean it's pretty impressive. Because I ignored a lot of my health in my younger years when I was invincible. 2030 Ghost's intros. Ghost going through the Pac-Man maze. Eating up the games that I conquer. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, man. My heart rate. It's funny too, because I went to the doctor, for like a regular physical, and I was actually worried because I bought this Apple Watch because I was having like heart pains, and this was like during COVID. During like early COVID, like 2020. And I was really worried about my heart, but I didn't want to go to the doctor. And I was like, man, I don't want to go to the doctor, like, because, the offices are going to be full of COVID patients. This was, before the vaccine, this was back when if you had COVID, they just shoved a respirator down your throat, and like there was like a 80% survival rate or something like that. It was like pretty scary. An 80% survival rate is pretty scary for doctor terms. But yeah, like, it was like those times, and I was like so scared to go to the doctor. So I was like, well, let me try and monitor it myself. So I got the Apple Watch, and I thought my heart was going to be like all jacked up. And then what was it? It was like, I would fall asleep with it on just to monitor it through my sleep, and it would wake me up with an alarm saying my heart rate is too low. It would hit 29, and it would say your heart rate is lower than 30, and it would put a buzzer on, like it would be like bring, and I was like, wow, that's really low. Like, is that bad? I looked it up, and it said it's okay. Ambience is giving you anxiety. Really? Interesting. I honestly, this calms me down. It's like good background music. This I just keep it on in the background. But yeah, man. Long story short, like I went to the doctor and they said like, yeah, when you fall asleep, your heart rate could go really low. So you should probably turn that alarm off because it just keeps waking you up when you're sleeping, and there's no purpose for that. But yeah, man, my heart rate, I think the highest it gets is like when I bike for like an hour or more. I think it hits like 115, sometimes 120. So, the music and lightning and thunder. Here, I'll put my this is more my my rainy one. You ready? I got my rainy one here. This one. I like this one. This one's from the Cloud Cover album. You're at the gym now wishing for those heart stats. Yeah, I mean, it's like, honestly, like I don't brag or say things to be bragging, but I always like was athletic to an extent. I always try to stay active to some capacity, and I actually get anxious when I'm not. So it's like, yeah, like when I ignored my health through like my mid-20s and stuff, I thought I was gonna be screwed in my 30s when I started to feel kind of run down. But yeah, no, I think your heart is a muscle, and I guess it has muscle memory. So my heart just kind of remembered my active days, and it just kind of went back to normal. My only real problem is at some point I like got a hernia in my groin area. So it's kind of difficult for me to like lift heavy objects. Like I get like a really tight sensation. I went to the doctor about that, and I was like, I don't know what to do about this because it like kind of sucks and it's uncomfortable sometimes. And they were like they took a look at it, and they were like, it looks like you just got like some fat stuck in there. It's not like damaging organs, and the only way to fix it is a surgery. So like if you want the surgery, it's gonna be a surgery, and so if you can live with it, they recommended I just live with it for now, as long as it's not bothering me, and then just keep coming in for checkups every once in a while to see if I change my mind. So for now, I'm not doing it. And then, I think maybe one year during the winter or something, I'll do it when I could just get out, get it done, and just kind of lay around my house while it's cold outside, and just like keep an ice pack on my crotch. Keep going till your shoulders fall off. Yeah, hernia in your belly button. Yeah, that's yeah, man. I think did you get surgery for that, or because they said the way they fix it is they go in through your belly button, so I imagine that's probably easier to fix. Because mine, they would have to go into my belly button and go to my groin. It's like the muscle, like where your leg hits your hip, like right there. And it sucks, man, because it's like I'll make random movements that I would think nothing of it, and then like 30 seconds later, I'm just like, ooh, I shouldn't have done that. And I just start seeing stars. Yeah, exactly. It hasn't caused you pain. It's funny. It's like I'm always so shocked about how common health is. I just never thought about it. And whenever I bring it up, people are always like, "Oh yeah, I had that too," or "I have that too," and I'm just like, "Really? I thought I was all alone. I thought I was the only one that had this problem." And it's like, no, it's common. Like not the only one in the world, but the only one in like my friend group. And then I'll bring it up, and like somebody will be like, "Yeah, I had that." It's like, dude, I remember, like, I'll get real graphic with you guys. I remember I had hemorrhoids. I got 2 H's. What's another H? I don't know. I can't think of anything without the word heart in it, and I don't want a heart problem. So I got two H's, hernia and hemorrhoid. But yeah, like I remember when I had that, it was like, it sucked and everything, and I brought it up, and like, yeah, like all my friends were like, yeah, I've had that. I had to get I've had mine burned off, or I've had mine like, cut and stuff like that. I'm like, really? That's crazy, because like when I went to the doctor, he looked and he was just like, this isn't bad enough for me to remove it. You just ignore it and it goes away. And that's kind of how I live. It just comes and goes. You've had personal surgeries before? Yeah, I've never been put under. I've never been. I very rarely have been anesthetized, or whatever's the word for it. And I'm kind of scared, honestly. I'm actually kind of scared, because I've never had that done before. So I'm like, I dread that. But yeah, eventually. You had a friend who ripped his sack flying over his bike. It's funny, because I believe doing a bike trick is the source of my hemorrhoids, actually. So I think fucking around on your bike is a bad idea. Cause yeah, it's the same thing, man. I did. I went over. What do they call it? I think they called it a tabletop ramp. That's when it's like a quarter pipe, flat, quarter pipe up, flat, quarter pipe down, right? I went down, and it was in like on a dirt road, and I was going really fast, and I was like, I'm gonna be the badass right now. I'm gonna do a backflip, right? So I go, and I'm biking, and I go as fast as I can. I get to the quarter pipe, I do a backflip, and I completely lose track of up and down, and I panic halfway through the flip. And the way I landed, the seat was like right by my ass. And when I landed, my bike seat straight up went in my ass. Like, it was the worst, dude. And I had like so many problems, and like I was so embarrassed by it that I didn't even tell anybody. Yeah, like penetration. I mean, it like when it happened really fast, and you know, my reaction was like, get it out as fast as possible. So I did, but like it did damage. Like it, like, you know, I think the medical term for it was anal fissure. I had that. So yeah, that's I had that, and then you know, when something like that heals, and it's scar tissue, it's just tender. So that, I think that's like the source of when my hemorrhoids started. But I mean, and this is back before we had like videos, you know, before we had like camera phones and stuff like that. So like, if I were to do the backflip, it would just be a legend. Like, nobody would see it except the people that were there, and they would just have to talk about it, you know, and like nobody would have the video. But on the positive side, nobody has a video of me riding my own bike up my ass, but like, that's good. But yeah, like, you know, people like, you know, they would just have to take my word for it, you know. It would be like, yeah, man, I did a backflip on the tabletop ramp, you know. And yeah, it was it was crazy, man. That was a long time ago too. I think I was like 8 years old when that happened. Shoot. Now I'm 38. 30 years. It's been 30 years, Luigi. 30 years. I can't believe Bowser's dead. Yeah, man. It was oh yeah. Yeah, the fissure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's it. And it's common, dude. It happens to a lot of people. So it's like, I get all worried and timid and embarrassed, and then it's like, when I finally tell somebody, they're like, oh yeah, that happened to me too. I'm like, why doesn't anybody talk about it? Why have I been living in shame? Why have I been like hiding this my whole life, you know? So that's why I talk about it. You're 29 next month? Damn, man. I'm 39 next month. Isn't that crazy? The last year of my 30s. And then I'm gonna be an old ass man. And then it will finally be a time in my life where I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should get hemorrhoid surgery. And maybe I should get my hernia fixed. Because I'm 40. Complete inner freedom is when you don't care what anyone else thinks. Yeah. I think it's funny I think you got to find a balance between not caring what other people think and like having a little bit of self-awareness, right? Like, because I mean, like, there's people out there that Like, I don't care what anybody thinks, and then, but they're just total assholes. Like, do you want that? That's not what I want. I don't want to be like that. So it's like, you just have a little bit of self-awareness, just don't care. So like the way I've negotiated is I don't care what assholes think. Except my asshole with a bike seat up it. And hemorrhoids and hernias and yeah. But yeah, like so that's they're just wearing a manly veil. Yeah, exactly. It's those are the people that are always the most tender and sensitive and get their feelings hurt real fast. I noticed that too. Yeah. It's weird. Like it's like I don't know. I don't want to live in a world where it's like not manly to have emotions. That was kind of like my whole childhood growing up. Like I said, like I had like that injury and I was just ashamed of it. I didn't talk about it. Walking around like it was like a bleeding ass and like just trying not to walk funny so nobody asked me any questions and then going home and crying. Like, yeah, that's great. And not even crying because after being told that crying isn't manly, like I lost the ability to actually cry. That's crazy to me. Like to lose the ability to cry. And like when I feel like I need to, instead of actually like crying, what ends up happening is like I'll get like an adrenaline rush and it'll like stop. Yeah, I'm basically the Terminator now. I'm the Terminator, but like I can't kill anybody, and I can be killed. So instead, the only thing I have is I know now why you cry, but it is something I could never do. Oh man, that's some good shit. But yeah, cool. Damn, man. Dude, I forgot what it felt like to stream. I missed it. Dude, Yogi the Bear. Trying to remember. It's like, hey, boo boo. Right? Like, picnic basket. Something along those lines. You're gonna start streaming again? Nice. Deeper? That's what she said. Diaphragm. Hey, boo boo. There we go. I think that was it. I'm gonna steal a picnic basket. Close. Getting there. Closer. I never watched the Hanna-Barbera stuff. I watched a little bit of the Flintstones. But, that was it. Yeah, man. Yeah. I do apologize for not streaming that much. Like I said, there was just a lot going on. When I moved to Amsterdam, I didn't realize how much I needed to do to feel at home. So like to come here and shut down the outside and just start streaming again and closing my doors and staying inside. I didn't think it was a good idea. Like I had more of the urge to get out there and like do things. And why did I move to Amsterdam? Several reasons. I've wanted to move to Europe since I was a teenager. When I was in high school, I took German because they had a German exchange program, and I wanted to go to Germany, and I wanted to go to college in Germany and move to Europe, mostly Germany. But that didn't pan out. In high school, I didn't have the money to do the German exchange program, so I just ended up taking German for 3 years, but never getting to go see the country. And then, it just kind of became a thing where it's like, one day I would love to move there. And then, one day at work, we opened up an office in Amsterdam, and they were like, yeah, we're going to start staffing that full time. And, you know, I went up to my boss. This is like in 2016 or so, 2017. I went up to my boss and I was just like, listen, man, I'm like absolutely 100% serious about this. I made up my mind. I will not, I will not back out of this. I'm offering you my services to move to Amsterdam and manage the office there, so you don't have to worry about hiring locally anything. Like I'll be like the team leader there. And they were just like, no, we need to staff locally because laws and this, that, and the other thing and all that shit. And that was in 2016, 2017. And then and it just didn't pan out, and I ended up staying in New York. And then just one day at random I got what happened was, what I did was I saw on the company website. I'm trying really hard not to say my company name because I don't want to say it on stream. Not that I don't trust you guys, I just don't want it on the stream where anybody can see it. But I went to the company website to look at available jobs internally at the company, just on a whim, because they had there was like an email that went out that was just like, look for opportunities, look for opportunities to grow within the company. Like, the company is growing, like, here's some opportunities. And I looked, and what was it, manager for the office in Amsterdam was there, and I applied for it. And then I got the call from my manager, and he was just like, so you're serious about moving to Amsterdam? And I was like, absolutely, 100%. I'm still serious about it. I was serious in 2016. Any day from then till now, if you asked me, I would have said yes. And he was like, all right, we'll see what we can do. And then that was like around 2020 2020. And then, throughout a couple of years, they put together this package for me. And they presented it to me as an offer. And they're just like, so here's what's going to happen. You're going to be terminated in New York, but you are going to be given a start date on the same day in Amsterdam. And you're going to get a new company ID. And you're going to we're going to sponsor you on a highly skilled worker's visa. This is going to be your budget to move. All this stuff. Yeah, I'm going to be terminated into New York. Here comes Arnold again. But yeah, and then what is the black box on screen? It should be... actually, I've been meaning to ask that. I tried to put closed captioning. Is that working? Is that not working? Are you guys able to see closed captioning? I wanted to put closed captioning on here. Let me know if that works. You might have to enable it or something. If not, maybe I have to enable something on my end. Yeah, I forgot about that. Shit, I should have looked into that. But yeah, and then so they gave me the offer. It was really good. So I looked at what my salary would be, and then I looked at the average salary in Amsterdam. And basically I was just like, this is crazy, good. You know what I mean? This is a great deal, and it has the CC option, but it doesn't work. I'll troubleshoot that. I'll figure out what's going on with that, because I want that to work. But yeah, so well, long story short, it's a permanent position. It was a permanent move. I have a house here. The company is sponsoring my Dutch lessons, and my family is, my kids going to school. They speak Dutch already. My wife's learning, and we're gonna stay here. I'm gonna get my citizenship in. Well, I've been here a year already, so cut off another year. So in about 2 years, I'm gonna get my citizenship, and then once I get my citizenship, we'll see from there. But I have no intention to come back to the States. I didn't feel home there. And I promised myself that once I move, I'm not going to talk badly about the States, because like I have too many people that I know and love that live in the United States. So my hope is that the U.S. Just improves and keeps improving and becomes a great place for families, the way it was when I was a kid. And I'm just going to focus on myself and just hope that, it's like we talked about earlier, like the political distress and the social distress and the work ethic, it's all wacky. And yeah, it's been a year, man. September 15th I arrived in the Netherlands. So it's in just under a week it will be a full year. And then 2 more of those, I will be taking my citizenship exam. And man, I'll be here. Get my passport. You're too scared to leave your job? I was too scared to leave my job too. If my job didn't move me here, I wasn't going to leave on my own. Maybe if I was single and had no kids or something like that. But it's weird because I can't really speculate on that, because I feel like getting married and having kids is what gave me the motivation that got me where I am today. I don't know what I'd be doing if I didn't get married and have kids. I might very well just be living in an apartment in like Jersey City or something, working like a steady job there. Like I had some local opportunities, or doing freelance in the city and living in Jersey City, because I like Jersey City. I like Jersey City, and I did like Bayonne, but it feels a little bit like shut off from the world. Like anything you want to do in Bayonne, you gotta like cross a bridge or pay a toll to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, freelance. You could make a good living freelance, but my problem is it wasn't stable. I would like what was it? I had a job where I got like 50 grand. I just got a check for 50 grand, and it was like, whoa, holy shit. And then I didn't work for like a year and a half. Right? So 50 grand a year isn't really that much. So now if I would have had something lined up right afterwards and grabbed another 50 and made that 100, now that might have been a good year for a single dude living in an apartment. But yeah, actually, come to think of it, if I didn't get married and have kids, my mom owned an apartment building in Bayonne. I probably would have just been renting from her and just living upstairs from her and just freelancing in the city, and I probably would have been fine. I don't know, but I've always had the calling to move to Europe though, man. I don't know. Like I had to do this. I had to. There's just something about it. 40 to 50 an hour gigs, 400 to 6. Where are you? You're in Portland? Seattle or something? You're in the Pacific Northwest, right? That's a good spot for my industry. Portland, yeah. Yeah, that's a good spot for if you're in my industry. I'm in tech. I do I do video streaming. For somebody else though. Somebody much bigger. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. I'm happy where I am. I think my family's happy. It's funny. They opened up the office. Like I've been working remotely too. That's what's funny is I moved to Amsterdam, but I've been working remotely the whole time. I've been like working from my home office. But they finally opened up the office. I'm gonna start going back in a couple of weeks, but it's only a couple of days a week. It's gonna be like 2 or 3 days a week in the office, and then I'm still gonna be home. AV work and live entertainment film. Inheriting a business, perhaps. Oh man, good luck, man. Good luck. That's a good gig. Have you ever work a live production truck? I used to do that. That was my thing. I loved working the trucks. I would be in a satellite truck, and yeah, that was a good gig, building those trucks. I never got to go out in the truck. I only got to build them. Basically, yeah, like setting up the insides, things like that. That was fun. That was a good gig, but it didn't pay very well. Definitely not enough to support a family. I was it was fun because like you never knew what your next job was gonna be. Like it would be like a red carpet for a movie, and then I did a Metallica concert, and then I did a sporting event, and then I did Live with Regis and Kathy. No, Live with Kelly and Michael. Yeah, stuff like that. It would be like, things like that. And I actually worked on Martha Stewart's her episodic show, her show. I worked on her show. I worked on Martha Stewart's show, and I worked on Rachel Ray. Nice. 400 for a day's work is really good. How did I find my connections? Just living in New York and going to college here. And then I needed to get going. No, I'm good. As long as I get my blood pressure down, I could probably chill for another few minutes. I just wanted to. Cause Doom is one of those games that gets me like really, really hype. Like when I'm playing Doom, like my eyes definitely like focus in, and I'm like watching and listening, and my hands get all crab-like. But yeah. I mean, yeah. How did I get started in that business? Now I forget. I started, it was mostly in college, and then like I was in a media arts department, and I was working there. I worked in the media arts department, and they would if there was like a lead on something, they would tell you about it. And so what I did was I started working freelance first, and I got a job in Brooklyn. And here's like fate or destiny, whatever you want to call it. I got a job working for the Heinekens, the Heineken family. They were doing a biography called The Magic of Heineken, and there was like a stop motion thing that they were doing, and there was an animation studio in New York, or in Brooklyn rather, and yeah, they invited me. They put a job listing there, and it was just for like a random, just to be a random scrub, and it was like they would only pay you enough to pay the tolls every day, and for one meal a day. And I was like, but it's a foot in the door, so let me do it. So I went and I did it, and then I was only there for a week, and they were just like, hey, so and so wants to talk to you. Like you should go to lunch with so and so. And I was like, all right, let me go to lunch with so and so. So I went, and basically, I was there to replace him, and they wanted to make sure that they found somebody good and competent and stuff like that. So so he moved up to be like a director, and I moved to his spot, and I was doing basically. It was an animation. It was stop motion animation. So I was doing what do you call the department that like builds things? I was fabrications, I guess. I forgot the name of the department, but I was part of that, and then also editing and. But my editing, I didn't get to do any creative editing. I was doing mostly like color correction and formatting, like making sure that all the different shots, went to 1080p, 60 frames per second, H.274 whatever, and exported everything and with color correction and made sure there was no like noise, things like that. That was more my job than creative editing. And then that was the one that like I got pretty decent paycheck, and then I got nothing for a while, and then while I had nothing, I was just going crazy sending resumes out, man. And then I finally got a call back, and it was for a full-time position, and it was like basically at a broadcast studio, or not a studio, a broadcast distribution center, whatever you call it, like an earth station where they have satellites, and then they have the trucks that you got to build. And I was working there. Digital imaging technician, yeah, something like that. But I got an assistant editing credit because I was working in I was using their tools to time the scenes to the score. So technically I was doing editing, and I was just like, hey, it would mean a lot to me to put me in the credits as an editor. And yeah, they told me that they could put me in. So if you ever see, I think it's on Amazon Prime actually. If you go to Amazon Prime and search The Magic of Heineken, there's a stop motion. It's like a movie that has like interviews and all sorts of stuff like that. But if you watch it, it also has like the history when they do the flashback of like ancient of like World War I era, like Amsterdam. It's all stop motion. And that's the part I worked on. And yeah, here, let me see. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. Let me see something here. Let me see. I'm gonna do display capture of this guy here. Let me see. You're gonna be away on the phone? All right, cool. I'm gonna just show one thing, and then I'm out of here too. Let's see. Is there a way I could show that? Let me see. I'm gonna do this without showing my information on screen here. Let's see. YouTube. The Magic of Heineken. Let me see. Here we go. Let me see. Alright. So now I do like full screen. And then you ready? Here we go. So it's like stop motion. Isn't it funny that it was like Amsterdam though? Like, what are the odds? It's only in 360p. But yeah, so this is basically, I worked on this stop motion. And I was actually in like a little miniature Amsterdam.
It's even more than I had dared to hope.
Isn't that nice? It looks just like Amsterdam.
No need to worry, Mother. I've got my eyes wide open.
Have I been on one of those bats while The boats, yes. I've done canal boats, yes. I cannot speak on the other
Ginny,
part of that question.
I'm sure to find my place here.
But yeah, like
A little time.
yeah, man, that was what I did. I mean, I helped with that, and I got a credit in the movie if you watch. This is my Twitch, right? Yeah, and I'm cultivating the room that I want, and I don't talk about any of that. I'll tell you about the time I had a bike seat in my ass and a hernia in my groin. Other than that, anything beyond that is all speculation. Yeah, I won't. I don't give away my employer's name, and I don't discuss any sort of self medications. But yeah, I'm back. All right, everybody's heading out anyway, and that's about time for me to wrap it up anyway, guys. I've definitely had a great time. I'm gonna try, and I don't know if I'm gonna do some more Sigil or what, but I'm gonna try and get a weekend stream on where I could go for a few hours. Maybe I'll get back into doing the RPGs on the weekend or something. But yeah, man. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching Sigil. Thanks for talking. And I will catch you all next time. Adios.